Alright everybody, welcome back for another video, and today will probably be a short one. Just a couple things I wanted to point out to you guys. But first and foremost, looking at the TA once again, to me Bitcoin looks like it's kind of struggling with this $16,000 area. Also kind of looking like a bearish divergence here on the RSI. So over the past week or so, looks like we're definitely running out of gas on this move. Sorry about that. So I think it could, like I said, finish with maybe one more pump up, take us into the $18,000 area. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's the end of that for the year. From there, wouldn't be surprised to see, say we ran up to 19,000. I wouldn't be surprised to see, 30 or so percent pullback from there, all the way down to the 13s area. You never know with Bitcoin, and I say that. Let's just quickly review history. You got to look at how this all used to unfold the last bull run. So right here, this is about where we're at in the cycle, I believe, something like this. But look, that pump had a 30% retracement. This was trying to break all-time high. You had multiple, that one 30-ish, 30% retracement, another 25, 30. So, and these two are like 30 and 40% as well. So, it continuously happens in the bull market. So don't be surprised if we run all the way up, try a new high, fail, and follow that up with a 30 to 40% retracement. We haven't seen much of that this time around yet on the way up, but the more parabolic it gets, the harder the retracements are going to be. So just keep that in mind. Honestly, if you see it pumping again, if you're kind of new to this space, the first instinct is going to be to want to FOMO in, right? It's all the way up to 20 now, it's going to keep going. I got to buy. Then you buy, then it pulls back 30, 40%. And really that pullback is where you wanted to get in at. So if you feel like you missed the boat and you got money on the sideline, there's bound to be a nice pullback on the back end of this thing. We'll see. Biggest news of the day is PayPal. They are Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, and Litecoin are all available for purchase now on PayPal as of today, officially. So I think each and every one of these cryptos will do well during the bull run, maybe even just because of this ad, right? But Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, you can find all of them on all major exchanges. I'm not sure how much staying power Bitcoin Cash has, but I think it keeps getting added to all these kind of platforms because it's the people with the money own Bitcoin Cash, and that all happened because of that hard fork. I'm sure some of the wealthiest people, the biggest Bitcoin holders, are equally Bitcoin Cash whales. So that's the incentive there to keep adding that one, I would guess. But yeah, all of these proof of work cryptos are all available on PayPal, and I think that's a big green light for all of these. Personal opinion. All right. So the theme of the day I noticed was green, right? Green theme. Everything is going to be pushing towards a green future. So let's see what happens. But anyway, first and foremost, the Deutsche Bank central bank digital currency will replace cash in long term. So the largest bank in Germany is telling us that cash is going away. Here we are moving towards that cashless society, right? I think it's inevitable. But anyway, Deutsche Bank, the largest banking institution in Germany, is confident that central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs, will replace cash in the future. couple other things to note. They said if other countries do not catch up, they may find that their companies are forced to adopt the digital currencies and policies of other countries as payment mediums. All right, so I'm not going to read the whole article here, but basically they think CBDCs are inevitable and that they're emphasizing that the US and European nations need to catch up to China and Sweden's active progress in developing their CBDC. All right, and kind of to counter that, they have here Jerome Powell of the United States Federal Reserve declared that the U.S. is not worried about other countries getting a first mover advantage when it comes to CBDC. The Fed chairman said that the U.S. government will not make a decision on issuing the digital dollar until CBDC associated risks like cyber attacks and privacy are resolved. Wanted to touch on that really quick because, as I've told you, I think that there's multiple US CBDCs already in circulation. USD coin, USDC being one of them. I mean, that has ties all the way up to the top of our government. You know, like I showed with Brian Brooks, the acting comptroller, he has specifically made mention of USDC multiple times and talked about how the private sector needs to build our CBDC and not the government. Just said that government needs to basically lay the groundwork and the regulations for how these private companies need to build the CBDC. So I think it's already out there. USD coin can be found on all major exchanges. It's in all major crypto traders' wallets. They have access to it. So I think it's already out there, personally. I mean, you have another one with Tether as well. And I mean, there's plenty of them, but to me, USD coin looks like that's the one. All right, but moving on. All right, if you want to come check out this full report too, they talk about it. Where's it at here? The bank's research arm, Deutsche Bank Research, published a new report. So you come here, click this link, go to the report. It has a lot of really interesting things, perspectives about how they see the future unfolding. And as I mentioned, there's a lot of green emphasis in there. They talk about the U.S., China, and so on. So, yep, if you care to read the report, it's right there. All right. This same company, right, Deutsche Bank researchers call for a 5% privilege tax on people choosing to work from home with the money given to low-income staff. Now, I think that this is so ridiculous, but let's read some of the highlights. They said working from home should be taxed to help support people on low incomes who cannot do their jobs remotely. People choosing to work from home, despite their company providing a permanent desk, should pay the tax at 5% of their salary. If the companies do not offer permanent desks, they should pay instead, the report argued. All right, so I don't know how you guys feel about this, but if the company allows somebody to work from home, then let them work from home. What's it have to do with taxing them? If they're at home with their own equipment, why would they owe more money than the people at the office? I don't know. Makes no sense to me. But you can see that this whole situation for the year, the beer flu or whatever you call it, all the banks and global leaders are continuing to try to twist it into something beneficial to them. So I don't know. I don't like this kind of stuff. But moving on. Greener pastures. Bitcoin miners now looking beyond Chinese borders. All right, I don't want to cover the whole thing, but just to summarize, this article basically talks about how in China, if I can get this picture to pop. Let's do it this way. Okay, so basically the way it works in China right now is the miners migrate to conditions in the country on a seasonal basis, right? So in the north, there's lower temperature and cheaper electricity in the winter, which would be April through May, I guess it is. No, I think they had this wrong. Anyway, I think it's April through October is what they really said. But anyway, so in the south, there's cheaper electricity in the summer because of a lot of rain. They use hydropower down there. So apparently the miners typically have migrated back and forth between the two. But now they go on to say that some sources claim that Chinese miners are migrating this year not only because of climatic changes, but because of tightening regulation in the country and pressure on crypto organizations by the government. Earlier, it was reported that the co-founder of the OKX exchange was arrested by the Chinese police, and Zhangde Jinfu Finance's GE noted that in China, mining facility operators have been the hardest hit by recent tighter regulations. Due to stricter regulation, many mining facilities in Inner Mongolia, which operates beneath national grids, have closed down. Similarly, for Sichuan and Yunnan province, many of the mining facilities which tap on direct power supplies from power stations have closed down. So I just wanted to touch on this part of this article in general because obviously regulations are going to affect everything. So over time, as regulations are tightened, it can shift how proof of work is done, which countries dominate proof of work. If you don't think that these governments can affect the future of crypto, you need to wake up, is all I'm saying. So pay close attention as all of this unfolds if you are long-term invested into proof of work. All right, another important thing to note here too, relocation to other countries. While local miners claim that everything is as usual, some experts suggest that China may soon lose its mining dominance. Among the reasons, he highlighted the growing share of international mining operations as well as overseas institutions such as Grayscale, Bitcoin Trust, increasing their Bitcoin and Ether long positions. In the near future, there could be an increasingly fragmented and distributed market globally. All right, I think that would be great for Bitcoin, to be honest. It should not be controlled 65% of the mining by any country. If you want it to actually be decentralized, we need it to be fragmented and distributed everywhere, right? So we'll see how it all unfolds, but it's just funny they note Grayscale buying a lot of Bitcoin, because they're buying all of it up. So we'll see how this all plays out. Lastly, in search of alternative conditions for placing their mining capacities, Chinese miners are now considering even drastic measures such as moving operations to other countries, such as Kazakhstan or Russia. Right? So, I don't know. We'll see how this all plays out. But apparently there's regulations tightening in China around the miners, and it's causing them to have to move around or consider other countries. All right. Blockchain helps determine green parking price in Munich. Okay, autonomous economic agents will negotiate the price of parking spaces between the operators and users. Users will be rewarded for choosing less popular parking spaces or not using the parking lot at all. So they're using this fetch.ai. So rewards will come in the form of an airdrop of fetch.ai's FET token to registered car park users for every minute that their vehicle is not in the parking lot. The number of tokens awarded per minute will depend on the amount of available space in the car park. Okay, so I just wanted to talk about this. First and foremost, because you can kind of see the blockchain future unfolding here, right? It seems like it's going to be very, controlled, right? Forcing you to pay more for each individual parking space. Like you want the front one, that one's going to cost you more. You're going to have to walk, from the 8th floor if you want to park your car here, unless you want to pay $100 for the spot that's close. I don't know. It's just like enforcing more control. Almost everything can be controlled with blockchain, the way that it looks like things are headed. So kind of bittersweet for me sometimes. I think that crypto and blockchain is a great innovation. but we'll see how the governments use it against us, if they do. All right, but that about wraps it up. As always, please like and subscribe, share with your friends and family, and stay tuned for the next one. Thanks.
What is a cashless society? What does it actually mean in a literal or high-level sense?
Money will become like these, relics of a different age, and will only be found in places like this. In other words, hard cash will disappear. It will become electronic, transferred by things like these.
Then Tracy is in Beijing to show us what a nearly cashless society actually looks like. Ben, good morning.
Mobile payment transactions in China reached a cumulative total of 277.4 trillion RMB in 2018, ranking #1 in the world, according to the recently released statistical report on internet development in China. As of June 2019, online payment users in the country reached 633 million. The cashless society is now approaching.
When's the last time you paid with cash? Well, chances are cash has taken a backseat to the plastic in your wallet and smartphone pay apps.
Denver 7's Ryan Luby explains the digital pay revolution and why not everyone is on board.
The cashless society, the cashless society.
The cashless society.
The cashless society is now approaching.
The cashless society.